Took the tip off. Take the tip off, man.
Take your tip off.
I took my tip off. How does that sound? I wonder how that sounds.
I'm sure it sounds fine. I think the P's would be a little bit harder.
I don't know. Interesting.
Other than that,
what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Outlier Podcast, episode number 49. Right? 49.
Yeah.
I'm just
yeah.
off the top of my dome. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We got some pretty good topics for y'all. We're gonna start off with no more would you rather's for now. We're gonna slow down on those. We're gonna kick it off with some hot seat questions. I know you have a couple, and I have one of my own as well. So
yeah, well, I just have one actually.
Oh, you only have one?
Yeah, I have one.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so this actually happened to me. Like, this is an experience of mine, and I wanted to ask you. I went to Walmart the other day, getting some dog food, and I went back into my car, and I had bought, some Coke Zero. Okay. Our Coke Zeros, and I was popping it open. I was just watching a video on my phone. I was just chilling in the parking lot, and I look, and do you have those? I'm sure you have the I don't know, the curbside. Now they have the curbside. You order whatever you're gonna get, and then somebody takes it out to you. So it was completely empty except for one car, and he parked on one, right? And this small, petite, short little girl comes out dragging this guy's stuff, bro. Like, he ordered a bunch of stuff, right? And she's dragging his stuff, right? And then he pops the trunk for her. He has a mask on, which, that's already, I'm like, bro, we're still wearing masks,
Texas?
Right?
What?
Yeah, dude.
Texas was like the most defiant state, I think.
Yeah, but there's still some weirdos out here.
Damn. Anyways, go on.
Okay, so, and then she was struggling. Like, I could see that she was physically struggling to put all the stuff in. I see this guy open the door. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, he's going to be a gentleman.
I know where this is going. I know where this is going.
He goes to the trunk and he pulls out a backpack and some other bag, and he puts it in his car, goes back in the driver's seat, and then just lets her put the rest of the stuff in. What do you think about that?
I don't think he's wrong for that, but I do think he's not wrong for that because she is doing her job. She is getting paid, and he did pay for that service. So there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, he's doing nothing wrong, but he doesn't have any common courtesy, I'd say. Because I feel like if you did have any type of common courtesy, you would at least offer to help, right? At least offer. Yeah. And if this guy
I think this is like the modern day programming that we got now, where like women can do just as much as men, right? Mm-hmm. And so if that same scenario would have happened 20 years, 30 years prior to this, damn sure the guy wouldn't even ask. He would have just automatically done it, right? But because we're in this progressive era, the guy is like, morally, it's like, well, no, I mean, she's doing her job, right? And then we're gonna come and sit down here, and you're gonna be like, well, I mean, yeah, she's just doing her job. But to me, bro, like, honestly, it just looked wrong. Like, it just, come on, bro. I understand you're paying for your stuff, whatever, but that's just being a good Samaritan, like being like a good person, bro.
Yeah, 100% looks wrong for sure. And I think probably in his head, he was like, man, like, I'm letting this girl, get her work and then feel like equal, right? But I guarantee you that girl probably went back and was like, can you believe this asshole didn't help me after all the shit he bought? Because as you mentioned, there was a lot of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So she for sure went back and like talked to her coworkers about it and was like, this guy didn't fucking help me, what an asshole. Like, it was for sure a thing. So I don't know. I think it goes back to that whole argument of like people pick and choose when they want equality and stuff, right? So whatever.
But yeah, you're right, because if it was the other way around, the girl was not gonna help the guy, which I think is fine. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, like, I mean, if it was like a small male, like we've all seen those tiny ass little males, right? Those what do they call them? Twinks? You know what I'm talking about? They're like super um like that guy that was like, no, the fuck I'm not. You know what I'm talking about? Like those like short, smaller guys. If it was a short, like super frail guy, would you feel the same way? Or
Yeah.
yeah, like meaning
Y-
you would expect him to help.
Yeah.
So the girl part isn't really as big as a factor as the physical like can't do it part.
I think us as men have a obligation just based on our biological physicality to live up to those standards. At the end of the day, like I don't care how frail you are, bro. This girl, I'm telling you, was small, bro. She was small, dude. Like a tiny human being, and like next to you, she was short, petite. You know what I mean? So just to help out, I think that yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I would have helped out, but that's just because that's how I am. You know that I feel
Because
like
even if the guy is frail, like you say, then he's not doing his part, right? Like I'm saying, like he has an obligation because he still has that physical capacity. He's just not filling the capacity.
yeah, 100%. But that guy's probably the same type of guy that doesn't hold any doors open or doesn't do little things like that, which everyone does. So I
I'm sure
mean,
that guy doesn't get any chicks, bro.
yeah, I mean, he wears a fucking mask. You think that guy gets laid?
Not only does he not get any chicks, but I do think that women are gonna start to see they're gonna start to taste their own medicine by standing behind these movements of like affirmation and equality and all this stuff. I sent you a picture today on Twitter. Remember that? Where a
No,
bunch
yeah,
of
the
guys they're
periods.
like,
Yeah,
what is it? I thought they were guys,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Let me read exactly what it says. No, so I believe it's so hard to tell, bro.
I
I
know.
believe it's transgender men, meaning females that transition to males, right?
Hmm.
Um,
They
and
have underwear on, right? Like whitey tighties.
yeah, man, I should have pulled this picture up, but I'll just show it in the camera. Yeah, so if you can't tell, it's just a bunch of transgender women that have tidy whities on, um, with blood like right on their private part, right? And it says people have periods. Now
Hmm.
you sent me this and you said it was trending and people were going crazy about it and I can only imagine why.
Yeah. So it's like the title there says people have periods. So it's insinuating that anybody gender fluidity is basically what it's saying. Men and women can have
Periods, which is
periods,
not
right?
true.
Which is obviously yeah, not true, right? And man, bro, I was shocked by how many people were defending that post in the tweets, bro.
I mean, like people saying like, "Oh,
Oh,
it's
because there was a doctor that I saw it retweeted from a doctor that said, "I warned you all about this," and then
meaning what?"
like that y'all we were gonna get to this point of just like the world just being crazy and putting stuff like this where people have periods and people were like tweeting at him saying like this is disgusting, you're insensitive, and those are men and blah 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 whatever. It's just crazy, bro. I think that like that's obviously an extreme example, but also like in a minuscule sample what I just talked about where the guy's not going out and helping this like small girl put his groceries in his car. Like those are just two examples of like full circle.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why people just can't respect each other and allow for you to feel different about certain things. Like for obviously that whole thing isn't right, right? Like men can't have periods. You just
Mm.
can't. It's not physically possible for a real man. So like for me, they're not men. Like I know that sounds messed up, but like physically, I mean, I could respect you as a person, right? And be like, sure, that's how you feel. Okay, cool. Like me personally, if you want me to call you a guy, I will. It's not a big deal for me, but I feel like you shouldn't expect other people to be like me and to give that same respect. You know what I mean?
But you know what's interesting about that is that you wouldn't do that for anybody else. Like
What do
you're
you
very
mean?
unapologetically you're unapologetic, but you do it in seeking the truth. Like you don't do it to be an asshole. Like let me give you an example. You're the type of friend that isn't going to like just lie to me to just comfort me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Man to man, like you and I. If you care, because you care about me, if I tell you like, yeah, bro, like I'm rich or whatever, whatever, and I was like getting myself in all this debt because I wasn't really rich and just doing like you would call me out on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't do that to a transgender. You would go along with the lie. Is what you're basically saying. Like, yeah, I would call you a guy if that's what you wanted.
um. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I see what you're saying, but for me, I don't care. I don't care. Like, it doesn't affect. Like, if you were my friend and you're a transgender, then I'm gonna be blunt and honest, right? But if you're someone that's just in passing, that I just like talk to whatever casually, then I don't care, man. Just okay, whatever, you know. Like I only put that type of effort and realism into people that I care about. Does that make sense? So if I was really close to a transgender person, I would pick their brain a little bit and kind of share my views and
Mm.
thoughts on it. But because I happen to not know any, I just okay, whatever you want. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, no, it does. No, it does. 100%. I think another thing that we get caught up in, especially in this era too, is like the labels, right? Like the whole LGBTQ, the BLM, all that stuff is like all just labels. And you talk about this a lot on this podcast about once you put a label on it, you have to like completely own that ideology. You can't even you can't disagree because, oh no, you're one of them. You're not right anymore. You're left, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody, you know, this person, and we're talking about like this person's in like conflict and with something, and it all has to do with like labels. I'm like, bro, forget the labels. Like, just why don't you just be yourself, be comfortable in your own skin, and then I don't know. It's because this person is worried about the labels that that they have given themselves and living up to it because of what other people are gonna think. And it's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're worrying about labels too much.
Oh yeah.
We give labels too much power is basically what I'm trying to say.
No, yeah. I mean, and it's obviously it sucks because once you put a label on yourself, it's hard to step outside of that, and you can't really have any different ideas, you know. So that's why I don't identify as left or right because I agree with some things on the left and I agree with a lot of things on the right. So I don't know what's that called. What's that called? A centrist? I don't know. Did I just make that
Centralist,
up?
yeah. No, no, no. So people use that term. I don't think it's like like a political term, but it's just
Yeah, man.
people
But
have
I
used it.
I don't like talking about these things because they're so touchy. And I feel like because you know what I'm trying to do and the process I need to go through, right? So that this could potentially backfire on me. But I just don't like that because if you speak on something and you disagree with certain people, then you automatically are looked at as like a bigot or like or as you don't like these type of people, which is not true at all. You just happen to not agree. And disagreeing with them is like you're starting a war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which that sucks is that you can't even disagree nowadays, which is whatever. It's the
Yeah,
new era we're
100%.
in.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention about the labels too is like this happens a lot with us when somebody gives you a label of like, oh, you're smart or you're the funny one. It's kind of like you feel like you have to live the rest of your life
being the funny
living
one.
up to that, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Like
100%.
I was listening to a podcast where they're talking about like, oh, they're twins. It's like, yeah, they always said my brother was the funny one. And so I felt I was in a crisis with myself because in every day I was in a struggle of trying to out funny my brother because I was the funny one. And I wasn't
Hmm.
really being myself. I was just trying too hard. Just
Oh
a
yeah,
little.
I mean that could happen with women too. Like if you get a girl and she's like, "Oh, you're so sweet. You're the sweetest guy ever," whatever. Then you're stuck
Mm,
trying to compete with yourself and
yeah.
be the sweetest guy you can possibly be, which is probably not even you. You just do that to get to that point, but now you're stuck. Now you're stuck doing that forever. So, I mean, it happens all the time for sure. Um, man, was that just one hot seat question?
Yeah, bro, these hot seat
Oh
questions.
shit. Okay.
That's why they're so good, bro. We can literally have podcasts based off of
All
hot seat
right.
questions.
Here's another one. This is one I thought of because I was I was talking to people about this one.
Okay.
If a woman punches a man, is it okay for the man to hit back?
If a woman punches a man, is it okay for the man to push the woman back? Yeah. If it's gonna like if she's beating the crap out of you, like she's throwing hooks and stuff like that, I say like obviously know that you're way more physically able than her. So like don't just start beat the
Mm-hmm.
you know beat her ass. But I would say like at that point you can use physical um you can apply physicality to it, right? Like try to restrain her, whatever it is. Me personally, I don't ever see myself punching a girl, to be honest. Like, but then again, I've never had a girl just start beating the shit out of me, you know?
No, yeah, I've never punched a girl either, but I've always put that scenario out there for my friends because I just wonder what type of people they are. And growing up with my cousins, I remember asking one of my cousins when I was younger, and he was like he just tried too hard to be like a gentleman, I guess. And he was always like, "No, you never touch a woman. I don't care what it is. Like, I don't care. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, well, like, what if your life is in danger?" I don't care. You don't touch a woman. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like,
Yeah.
"So you're telling me if she's running at you with a knife, you're just gonna like huddle up and like surrender?" You know what I mean? And he was kind of just like, "Yeah, like you shouldn't never touch a woman." And I was just like, I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, okay, she has a gun, like, and then he just like, eventually he just started to like, didn't want to talk about it anymore. But I was like, bro, like, you're telling me it's never okay to defend yourself against a woman. Like, that's what you're
Mm.
saying. Um, but yeah, so you would lay a girl out?
I would never like. I don't think I would ever strike a woman, bro. To be honest, I would probably like
What if your
grapple
life
her.
life is in danger?
Oh, life of in danger. I'm taking her out.
Yeah, bro. I feel like, oh, man. Okay, I'm gonna reveal something. That's a little. I'm not gonna get too into detail, but I was hit by a woman a while ago.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was.
I didn't know this.
I was. Yeah, no one knows this. I think one person on this whole world knows this. And so I was struck in the face, and I happened to be a little under the influence, and my first instinct was to punch back, right? But I didn't. I like, thankfully I didn't, and I just kind of tensed up and was like, okay, it is what it is. Like, move on. Thankfully, I obviously didn't continue. So, um, yeah. But I'm like, man, if I was like if I was like blacked out drunk, my instincts would have just took over, and I would have fought back. So
Yeah.
I just wonder that a lot. Like, I would like to think that I would grapple and like restraint, right?
Mhm.
Um, but that's usually not the first instinct, at least for me. It's
Yeah. So I guess my answer is no then, right? Because like is your question would you go toe to toe with the girl? I guess you can say like if she hits you. Because like then my answer is no. I just don't think that because men are a lot stronger, right? I don't think you should be punching a girl. I think that you're strong enough. You should be strong
So
enough to just restrain
so
her.
what if this girl is like elbowing you, kicking you, punching you, slapping you, like just beating the shit out of you, and you can't grab a hold of her. She's just fast, she's wiry. Are you gonna throw back?
I'm I'm gonna throw a little kick. Nah, I'm just kidding. Um, why can't you leave in that situation though?
So you rather leave than
Yeah.
but like let's just say you're like painted into a corner. I don't know. I'm just saying like I want to know if
Nah, I
you
wouldn't strike, bro.
no no
I don't
matter
see myself
no
unless my life was on the line. Yeah, I don't think I would strike. I
yeah
think I would push or something like that and try to leave.
I feel like I would only do that if my life was on the line too.
Yeah.
But we never know unless we're in that situation. Like Dana White used to talk so much shit about people that were wife beaters. There's like so many clips of him online, and all it took was like some drinks and a heated situation, for
Yeah.
him to punch back.
Well, he
Um,
slapped her.
yeah, slap, which is still a strike, right? He still hit a
Yeah.
woman technically. So I mean, it's easy for us to sit here and say that, but we won't know. Or at
Yeah.
least I
And
know. I didn't strike back,
yeah.
So
No, yeah, I don't see myself ever doing something like that. So I guess my answer is no.
your answer is no.
Yeah.
Good to know, girls. If you guys want someone you could beat their ass, hit my boy up. He ain't gonna do shit.
But I'll wrap you up like a noodle, though. I'll tell you that much.
Nah, he ain't gonna do shit. He's slow.
I'll put you to sleep. I got another one actually for you.
All right, go for it.
I just got a Facebook memory of a quote that I had wrote a long time ago. It was like 5 years ago. It says, "Would you rather be optimistic and wrong, or pessimistic and right?"
I grew up always trying to be pessimistic and right, but that's tough because I think
You want me to give you a scenario? Because there's a scenario that follows this.
Yeah, give me a scenario.
Okay, so check it out. Crazy conspiracy theorist says that the world's gonna end in 5 years.
Uh-huh.
Right? Everybody tells him, "You're crazy. Get out of here. Just enjoy your life." And he's just like, "No, y'all need to get ready. The end is coming." Blah blah blah. This guy spends 5 years stressing out, trying to tell everybody the world's gonna end. The fifth year comes, and the world's actually ending.
Mhm.
Everybody's panicking. They're all gonna die. Who lived the better life at the end of the 5 years, though?
I don't know.
The pessimistic guy that was right, but stressed the hell out all those 5 years, or everybody else that was oblivious to it and optimistic about tomorrow coming.
Or did he have more? Did he have more opportunity to live his life to the fullest extent since he had this insider knowledge? That's assuming that he was stressed out. What if he was like, okay, well, I'm going skydiving. I'm gonna spend all my money. What if he did all that? You don't know that. You're assuming he was stressed out.
This is my story.
Yeah, but that's in my head. That's what I think, right? But so you're saying he's stressed out?
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to convince everybody,
Yeah.
get right with God. The world's ending. That's still got to be, even if you're doing like bucket list stuff, that's still got to be stressful.
Yeah. I think I'd rather be what was the word?
Optimistic.
Optimistic. I'd rather be optimistic. Because growing up I always wanted to be, for some reason I had it like I convinced myself that if I were to like say the opposite, then I would get what I wanted. If that made sense. Does that make sense? Like I would be like, man, I'm never gonna lose weight. I'm always gonna be fat. Like I ain't shit. And then like I just felt like if I said that, it would work. It would work for me, and it would happen somehow.
Well, that's pessimistic right there.
Yeah, that's why I grew up with that
Yeah.
mindset, and
Oh, okay.
a lot of the stuff that I wanted came true, right? From being pessimistic, but it wasn't healthy. Like it made me like very sad and like yeah, it's not a healthy thing to do for sure. Even if you get what you want, like what it does to your brain, being that negative is not good, 100%. So I'd rather
Yeah.
have a healthier functioning brain by being optimistic for sure.
Yeah, you're 100% right with that. Usually pessimism cosigns sadness, optimistic cosigns happiness. That's usually how it works. But the thing is, we live in a world where we always want to know the answer. We always want to be right. And
I
so,
don't want to know the answer, bro. Like I don't want to know if someone could tell you right now if heaven existed, would you want to know? Like if you were like a definite like yes or no,
yeah,
you would want to know?
I would want to know.
I wouldn't want to know.
I think that is like seeking the truth has become more important to me in this last couple of years more than anything. And I talked about this on one of my podcasts where it's like, oh, we want to be better, but we fear the answer to better. Like we fear the truth, and that holds us back a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And so, like, let's say there is a heaven, I can live accordingly. Or let's say there isn't a heaven, I'm like, shit.
I feel like a lot of people can't handle the truth though, you know? Like if you were a super devoted Christian and you found out that heaven wasn't real, that would like and you spent 20, 30 years fucking devoting your life to this religion and just to find out that it's false. Obviously, I'm not saying it is. I'm just painting a scenario. But
Yeah.
if that were to happen, imagine how fucking crippling that would be to know that
You know,
you invested so much into something that's not true.
that's actually a lot of people's truths, bro. Like, there's a lot of people that come to their realization of God's not real. Like, they've spent years as a Christian or Catholic, and then they come to what they think is like, oh, it's not even real. And what it's called is it's called an existential moment where
Mm.
they think everything that they believed up until this point is false. And it's a scary ass feeling. Like it's an anxiety filled feeling. That's why a lot of people would rather live in bliss or sorry, in ignorance because it's blissful. Like they don't want to know the answers. But yeah, me, I want to seek the truth, even though it's gonna be hard. But I think seeking the truth is the best way.
Yeah, man. There's so many things I want to know though. Like if you were able to pick one yes or no answer,
It would be that.
it would be like heaven or God or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. My next one would probably be extraterrestrial.
That's mine. That's my number one. Is I want to know if there's aliens out there. That's my big one, bro. Because I'm like in my head I'm like 90% sure, but I've never. How would I know? You know, if the top scientists in the world don't know, how the fuck would I know, right? So to kind of skip that line, and honestly, we won't know. Even so, let's say they existed, we wouldn't know for thousands of years. I feel like before it would be like confirmed and like you know what I mean. Like I don't think
Could we have them in a cage and stuff?
I don't. Nah, they'll have us in the cage if they're coming down here, bro. Shit. But I don't think we'll find out in our lifetime if that's true or not. So
What
I
about
kind of
dinosaurs, bro? There's a theory out there that dinosaurs never existed.
yeah, that's just dumb. Yeah, that's dumb, bro. Dinosaurs exist, bro, or existed.
Yeah, think about dinosaurs though. Like that is crazy that those creatures lived on this earth.
Yeah. Oh,
That's insane to me.
speaking of prehistorical creatures, did you know they're bringing back the mammoth?
Scientifically or what?
We're gonna have mammoths within the next 4 years.
How?
So what they're doing is they have DNA, really good DNA from mammoth from like their tusks and like fossilized DNA, right? And they're taking their the closest elephant, or the closest ancestor, which is the Indian elephant, those little baby elephants that you see in the circus.
Okay.
Okay, and they're taking the DNA, and they're obviously, I'm not a scientist. I don't know. This is just what was explained. They take the mammoth DNA and they fuse it into the womb of the Indian elephant. Wait however long it takes, and then pops out a mammoth, and they're gonna do that. The, the reason
That's
they're
crazy.
doing that is because they want to help with. It helps nature in some way. I forgot whether it was like carbon or oxygen, or I forgot what it was, bro. But apparently they play like a huge role in the economy. Is that the right word? No.
No.
Economical. They play whatever the fuck. You know what I mean, right? You know what I'm talking about? But they're bringing back the fucking mammoth, bro. Can you believe that?
That
shit?
is crazy, bro. Now, my big question to that is, are the mammoths going to be able to reproduce with each other?
Yeah. So
Or they
they
okay.
they predict within, I forgot how many years, that there's gonna be over 500,000 mammoths roaming. I
Bro,
want to say
they
like,
keep messing around, bro. They're going to make up some crazy ass creature.
so the thing is that that's not the only dinosaur they're bringing back. Or sorry, the mammoth isn't a dinosaur.
No, no.
But that's not the only creature they're bringing back. They're gonna bring back other ones. But yeah, bro. I heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast. He had this guy come on and explain it. It's crazy, man.
If they had like an actual Jurassic Park museum with like dinosaurs that they brought back, would you go?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's kind of scary, bro.
Yeah, but I'm sure they'll be smart enough to bring back ones that they can hopefully contain, and not like a fucking T-Rex, right? Because a T-Rex that's gonna be tough, right? But yeah,
Nah.
they predict that there's gonna be like this huge um industry of just going to see the mammoths. So like people are investing into it because they want, the rights to like tour around and show people mammoths and all that. So they're coming back,
That'd be
bro.
dope.
Within 4 years, we're gonna see one.
I'm excited for
That's what the
that.
guy
If
said.
that's real.
I mean, I don't know, bro. It's a credited source. The Joe Rogan podcast, bro. When has he lied?
They say some stupid shit on the Joe
Nah,
Rogan podcast.
they do. Nah, but this guy's smart. So I trust
Mm.
him.
What how did we start this conversation? What was the hot seat question?
Would you ever punch a girl?
No.
Oh wait.
Oh, the optimistic and pessimistic.
Oh yeah. How
Yeah.
the
So
fuck did
I
we
like
get here?
I like your answer. I would like to think I would choose that. I think I would, like, when it came down to it, I think I'd probably choose pessimistic and right though. I think I'd cling on to wanting to know know right more than living a good life in the moment, like impulsively.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, bro. It's not a healthy way to live your life, though. I
Oh
promise
yeah, I
you.
know.
I promise you. It'll get to you. That's how people kill themselves, bro. All those negative thoughts and stuff, man. It eats away at you little by little.
Well, we were talking about this the other day about scheduling, right? About I was telling you we won't get to whatever we're talking about if you don't want to, but I was talking about this how structured your life is and how punctual you are and like you're very routine. And I told you like I can't do that, bro, because I have to allow myself I have to allow myself 2 to 3 hours in the day just for anything to happen. Because if I get caught in this cycle, I get lost and I just feel like I'm in this like if I'm a gerbil
Mm-hmm.
in the little exercise ball.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we really are, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like everyone has a route that they take every day. Whether it's work, the gym, going to see your family, whatever. It's the same thing, bro. I
You ever get to a destination and realize how the hell did I get here?
while driving,
Yeah.
no, I've heard of people doing that though.
Bro, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, bro,
Have you
sometimes
ever seen anyone sleepwalk?
no.
Yeah, bro. My mom sleepwalks.
Like regularly?
It's
Like not
happened.
I don't mean that daily, but I mean
No,
like it's a
no.
common thing in her life.
It's happened like at least like 10 times throughout. Like I've seen it at least seven.
She's at your bedroom door with a knife like this.
No, so one time she woke up and I was in the living room and she came to the living room and she was like, your uncle's outside, open the door." And keep in mind it was like 2 a.m., right? So I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is my uncle doing here, you know? And I could tell my mom looked off. She just didn't look like herself, right? And so I'm like, what the fuck? And so I was like, why is my uncle here? I asked her, and she just like went back to her room. And I was like, what the fuck?
She was like in a trance or what?
So, yeah, that's the best way I could explain it. And so, obviously my uncle was on the outside, and I asked her about it. And then the next morning, and she didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Yeah,
Damn. That has to be like they have to be dreaming, right? While doing that?
I believe so. Yeah, but
Be-
I've caught it on video. I have videos of her sleepwalking, and I've showed it to her, and she doesn't remember doing that at all.
Damn. My grandpa told me one time that I sleptwalked. I mean, nobody else has told me that I sleptwalked before, but when I was a kid, he had told me, probably like 10 years old. It's like, yeah, that I had gone up to him and I was just staring at him, and he asked me what's wrong, and I started crying and ran away. I was like, what the? I was like, I don't remember. I don't remember any of that.
What the fuck? You just standing looking at him, and
Yeah,
oh my god, that's fucking weird, man.
bro, we do some weird stuff, right? Like, there's a lot
Humans are
of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
humans are fucking crazy. Oh man,
Like, think about sleep, bro. Think
yeah.
about sleep. Like, where do you go when you sleep?
Nowhere, you're in your own head, but you don't remember it. I don't remember it, at least. There's people that remember all their dreams. I don't remember any of them. It's very rare for me to remember a dream.
You just lose consciousness and
And then
just
and then dreams are like my dreams make no fucking sense. I feel like most people's don't make any sense, but
mine, bro.
like there'll be someone in my dream that I've never fucking seen before. And then but I'm like, "Oh, like I don't know. I don't know how that makes sense."
Bro, we should have a dream segment. Whenever we can remember our dreams,
Let's
talk
write
about
it.
it on the
You know what we
podcast.
do? From now on, whenever we have a dream, let's write it down and then we'll recap it on the podcast.
Facts, bro. I
Yeah?
like that.
Sound
I
good?
had one recently that I just
I actually had one today.
weird,
I
bro.
had one today, but
No.
I didn't write it down. I was
The
gonna.
one I had, bro, was so weird because you I already know you can make fun of me. But you know how like the reaction channel is kind of popping off right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream that I met this guy in public that he watched my channel. He's like, bro, I really like your channel,
Yeah.
right? And then randomly he's asking me, he's like, bro, can you come to my house? Like, I want to show you around and whatever, whatever. Is a weird kid. Like, he's dressed weird. He acted weird. I don't know why I said yes. Yeah, bro, let's go. So I go. It was like a pretty beaten up house or whatever. And he's just like, yeah, bro, like we'll go to the backyard. That way we can hang out or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. Go to the backyard. He's like, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna get something. I'll come back. At this point, he had done something that just was super edgy that kind of freaked me out. And I was like, nah, bro, like I'm out. Like I gotta get out of here. Right. But for some reason, I jumped on the trampoline. And I jumped on the trampoline and it was infested with spiders, bro.
Uh-huh.
I jumped on the trampoline and I got covered with spiders. I got off the trampoline, I started rolling over. And when I got all the spiders off, I got up and it was dark. It was nighttime. I was like, what? What happened? And I see him coming outside, turning the lights on. He's like, what happened? Why were you yelling? I was like, hey, bro, I gotta go, bro. Like, you just had a bunch of spiders and shit like that. He's like, no, no, please just stay, bro. Just stay. And I was just like, I'm out. And I woke up. Super weird, bro. Like, what is that?
I mean, I feel like it makes no sense because I feel like you can't even imagine that. Does that make sense? Like, you couldn't put all those scenarios, like a trampoline, spiders, and then you stand up and it's night. Like, you couldn't imagine that. Like, you couldn't just, if you were to, someone were to tell you, like, sit down and write a weird experience, you would never put those pieces together. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like, it's so random the way that works. It's almost like spinning the wheel in your memory, right?
Like, what are we getting today? All right, you're gonna have a glass of milk. Spin the wheel. Snakes are gonna come out of the glass of milk.
I mean, dreams are just fucking weird in general. Like, one of my coworkers, we were talking about dreams, I think, and we got into talking about wet dreams, and he said he's never had one, besides this one time that he just woke up, went to brush his teeth, and his boxers.
Oh, you told me.
His boxers were full of fucking cum. And so we're like, wait, so like you don't remember dreaming? Like, you don't remember the dream or nothing? He's like, no, bro. Like, I just another day. Like, I went to bed, I woke up, and I was full of cum. And so I've never had a wet dream myself, so I don't understand how that works. Do you usually remember, like, the dream? Like, oh,
okay, well, I've never had one either, but I know that it's natural for the body, if you haven't ejaculated in a very long time, to naturally do it. And typically it'll happen in your sleep.
That's a sin, though, isn't it? Spilling seed?
Nah, that's not what the whole masturbation debate is about.
No, I thought I said in the Bible, like, spilling your seed is a sin.
Nah.
No?
No, it's more lust than masturbation is a problem with lust more than seed or descendant.
Okay. So your seed's not special then. In the Bible.
Until it creates life.
Okay. Interesting. So I'm not a sinner.
Nah, bro.
All right, perfect.
You good? Because then you'd be sinning every day because you'd be having massacres.
We've done 43 minutes now,
and that's all hot seat, bro.
I know. All right, guys, we're gonna end this episode here. It's been a long one. We were gonna talk about some new U.S. Pictures of a UFO that they have, but we'll save it for the next one. Hopefully, you guys are interested in that. Make sure you guys submit your own hot seat questions, and we will be sure to talk about them. We did a handful of hot seat questions and did 43 minutes. One of the longest episodes we've done in a while. So these new segments here are very interesting. I like them.
I like them a lot too.
Yeah. Thank you guys again. Go check out my boy's channel at Roger Reacts. Thousands of views popping off over there. Go see what all the hype is about. All his stuff is in the description below. And as always, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys very much. Peace.
Leave comments. Bye, guys.
Bye.